Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the network marketing pro, Mr. Eric Worre.
Okay, let me give you my intentions for this event. And these would be good intentions for you if you're having any event. My intentions for this event, I have three intentions. Number one, or three primary intentions. To build a relationship with all of you and have fun. We're in Vegas. We're going to have a great time. We're going to work hard. We're going to play hard. We're going to have a good time. Two, to have greater success stories than ever before. You know what drives me? What drives me is the stories. One little life I was able to touch in some way, or somebody who has touched me, or we connected in some way, and 12 years later, there's the journal, and 5 years later, that person, where's Adriana? Where is she? Adriana, she's one of the very first people. We talked last night. One of the very first people who started watching Network Marketing Pro, and Adriana was struggling, and Adriana was flatlined, and everything was stagnant, and she just totally blossomed. And she came up last night and said, I got to tell you what happened to me. I'm one of the top earners in my company now. Yay! So fun to see those stories, to see my friend Mike Sims. And Mike was always a star. Mike was always, he was one of those guys. He reminded me of Big Tommy Burns in a way. They look, big strapping, strong dudes. You could tell they were athletes. But Mike wasn't always on top. He had his struggles too. And then he learned a lesson here and he learned a lesson there. And today, Mike makes over $1 million a year. Network marketing, man. My friends Josh Denny and John and Tiffany Malott. Great friends, man. We go back a long way. We've talked about a lot of ideas. We've shared a lot of dreams. And they've had their struggles. 16 months ago, Josh was financially destroyed. John and Tiffany were struggling and looking for answers, knowing that they had talent and skill and knowing that they needed to make something happen, but trying to find their way. And today, both of them make over $1 million a year in network marketing. Come on. I could go all over the room, but you want to know what drives me? Those stories. What drives me is the person that says, is Adriana that says, I was stuck making $2,000 a month and didn't know if I was ever going to break out. And boom, a few short years later, she's one of the top stars in her company. And what's exciting for me is out of this room will come the next wave, the class of 2012, 2013. We're going to look back and see these people totally changing other people's lives and improving other people's lives. So that's my intention for this weekend, is to see that happen. And number three, to invest my time and energy into a select group of entrepreneurs, those who have made the case that they're prepared to do this. People who are committed to creating lasting wealth and well-being in their business and personal lives. You guys are committed. You're here. You're going to take the notes. Not only going to take this stuff, but you're going to apply it when you leave here. Those are my intentions. My fourth intention that is not on this, and it's a goal I want all of you to set. I want every one of you to recruit at least one new person before this event concludes at noon on Sunday. I just want you to set that intention. Somehow, some way, meeting people during the breaks, getting on the phones, driving the activity, doing whatever needs to be done. But one way or the other, in each session, I'm going to ask you, okay, how many people have recruited somebody so far? How many people recruited somebody so far? How many people recruited somebody so far? My intention for all of you is that by Sunday at noon, all of you have recruited one person. So I want you to put in your mind right now, how am I going to make that happen? Figure out a plan to make that happen. How many will set that goal with me? Okay? Great. Here's what you can expect this weekend. What you can expect is it's going to be an emotional ride. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there may be tears, there may be laughter, there may be drama, it's going to be emotional. Anytime life change is upon you, it gets emotional. When you get close to deciding to become a professional, it gets emotional. That moment of decision is very emotional. We're going to work hard in a safe environment. You're among friends here. So it's okay to let down and work hard. You don't need to look cool in this room. Most of you are cool, but you don't need to look cool. It's going to be challenging. I'm going to push you. This isn't, for the meek or the timid. You're going to learn some powerful new tools. It's going to be very rewarding. And you're going to have fun. Okay? That's what you can expect. Here's what I expect from you. That you'll be completely focused. When you're in the session, be in the session. That you participate in everything. If we have activities, and we're going to have lots of role playing and lots of practice amongst each other over the course of these 2.5 days, that you participate. Don't be too cool and say, oh, this is a good time for me to go to the bathroom because I'm not participating in this. There's some of you that's in your DNA. Just let go of that in a safe environment and participate. That you do the work. That you'll be on time. You already did a great job this morning. And as a culture, as an organization, we're on time. The reason why it's extra important to be on time, we need to start on time because people right now there's people at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. watching this program somewhere around the world. We need to respect their time. Start on time, finish on time. They've got stuff that they're doing, they're watching live. Now, this is a big one. I want everybody right now to take off your pins. Not your Network Marketing Pro pins, your company pins. I know you're proud. Take them off. Please. I know you want to represent, but we don't need to represent in this room. If you got a button, you got a pin, you got your stuff, your tchotchkes, this isn't a place to show your stuff. This needs to be a safe environment. We are colleagues here. We are not prospects. You are not allowed to tell somebody about your product or your opportunity, even if you do it in a subtle way. You're not allowed to do it. And even if somebody comes to you and says, I came to this looking for a home, you don't get to sign them. No, but really, I'm going to pick somebody. You can't pick me. Because most of these issues come from the prospect, not the other person. They get tricked. Show me your thing. I heard you're really doing some amazing stuff. Show me what's happening. You don't get to do that here. And it's so serious that if you do, and if we find out, we ask you to leave. It's that serious. If we find out you're shopping for a sponsor, we ask you to leave. Okay? It really needs to be a safe environment. We have in this room probably 80 companies represented. We need to be professionals. We need to be what we say that we are. It's a big world out there. For a moment, drop your weapons. Step away. Leave your presentation materials and your samples in the room. Lock them up. Put them in a safe. Time release lock that opens up Sunday at noon. Poof. You can finally get in. But this is really, really important. Will you respect that with me? Really, really do. And police it. Please let us know. In our 3 years, we have never had to kick somebody out. And I will say that this rule extends beyond this event. You're going to make friends. You're going to build relationships, and those are good to have friends in other companies. Some of my best friends are in other companies, and that's good to have. But having a list of business cards and friends does not give you an excuse to call them next week and say, hey, how's it going? My thing's going great. Is your thing doing terrible? If we hear about that, you won't be invited back to the next one, and we'll make a point of it. I will make a point of it on the Network Marketing Pro fan page. I will name names on the Network Marketing Pro fan page. Do not do it. Are we okay with that? You respect that? All right. Please do, because it's a big world. We don't need to cannibalize each other in order to be able to succeed. You'll do fine. And that you make a decision this weekend. That's the biggest thing. That you make a decision to really go pro. I talk about it every day, but most of you haven't made that decision. Not really. That you really decide, I'm going to go deep. That you really decide today's the day. That you really decide I'm going to change starting now. Nothing is ever going to be the same. I'm going to let go of my fear and I'm going to go. That's what I want. That's what I expect from you. Some of you think you've made a decision, but you haven't quite got there. We're going to get you all the way there today so you become sold out, or this weekend, so you become sold out. Here's the agenda for the weekend. And I think you have a copy of this in your packets. But this morning, we're going to talk to 11. Lisa Grossman comes on from 11 to noon. You're going to love that. This afternoon, we're going to take a 2-hour break for lunch. There's lots of places to eat, simple to eat. 2 hours this afternoon, we're going to start talking through the 7 skills. Ray Higdon's going to come on this afternoon, how he turned 20 no's a day into financial freedom. 20 no's a day for 6 months, and he was free from being financially wrecked. Mike Sims is coming on tonight from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. From 8 to 10, we're going to have the 3rd general session. Tomorrow, Todd Falcone is going to come on this stage, and he's going to do live prospecting calls for an hour. Like walking on a tightrope, man. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be like a, magic show or something. A couple more general sessions. In the afternoon, I'm going to bring up a panel of some of my friends that have had these breakthroughs in their life. There's some powerful people in this room. There's... how many, and I know some of them aren't in the room right this second, but how many people in this room have made more than $1 million a year in network marketing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I know there's a few more, like 16, 18 people made $1 million a year. Would it be good to get some tips and strategies from those people? So I'm going to have some of my friends come up, and we're going to do a panel. I'm also going to have some people come up at various times during the weekend and just tell their story for 5 or 10 minutes. These breakthrough stories, what happened, how they did it. Give you a little bit of inspiration. I think you're going to enjoy it. Nick Starnicola's coming on Saturday night. Going to do a presentation, then we're going to wrap up. Just a short presentation. We'll be done by 9 o'clock. Then we have a VIP party. For those of you who are VIP, we have a VIP party Saturday night. Then Sunday morning, we've got Les Brown. Going to have church. Les Brown, man. Les and I are, another couple guys that go way back, but and then we're going to wrap up, and we'll be done by noon. So that's the agenda. Let me tell you my story. Let me tell you my introduction to network marketing, okay? January 1988. A bunch of you hadn't been born. I understand this. How many in this room had not been born in 1988? Oh, not so many. I don't feel so bad. Good. Good. But welcome. Okay? Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was 91 cents a gallon. The Dow was 2,168. Interest rates were 10.5%. Average new house, $91,000. for the average new house in the United States. Rain Man was the top film in the country. And George Michael, Faith, was the top song in the nation. Have I taken you back? And there was new technology. We actually have a commercial from 1988. Let's play that commercial. Check this out. You can actually get this product. You'll love it.
You got the whole world in your hand. Whole wide world in your hand. You got the whole world in your hand. You got the whole world in your hand.
Put the whole world in your hand with Radio Shack's new portable cellular phone. A price and technology breakthrough.
You got the whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Okay, honest, how many people own that phone? Back when Radio Shack was relevant. Sorry, Radio Shack. Back when they were the place to go for technology. And now we really do have the whole world in our hands, don't we? Back when encyclopedias existed. Back when you had to do homework, you had to go to the library. Kids now complain about their homework. I have no time for this. What is the answer to any question? Copy, paste, done. What is going on? You know what their problem solving skills are now? What question to ask Google? What question should I ask in order to be able to get them? But they have huge advantages, man. I mean, that's the world now. You see what happens now at Thanksgiving. Everybody's sitting around the couch on a device. They're not playing. Back then, I was Pac-Man master. I was the king of Pac-Man. I can go through like 14 levels. For those of you who don't understand that, I don't have any time to talk to you. Galaga, okay. Donkey Kong, all right. Centipede, asteroids, choo, 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 choo. Quarter, 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 quarter. Get on my bike to go to the place to put in the quarter, 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 quarter. Now everybody's asteroids. Psh. They're on their cell phone playing. They're going to other worlds on their phones. So that's where I am, right? 23 years old. I'm newly married, little boy. I'm behind on my bills already. I earned $45,000 in 1987. Sounds pretty good, right? Sounds impressive, right? It had nothing to do with being impressive. Here's what it was. My father and his partner owned a little real estate office, and they bought and sold homes, and they needed somebody to show the homes because they were too busy doing other stuff. So they had like 80 homes for sale, so they needed somebody to become an agent. I became an agent. I became the listing person, and I sat there, and when homes sold, I made a commission. I was not anything special, right? And yet, I thought I was something special. I spent $60,000 in 1987. I had that closing that was about to come through, and I just need to borrow a little bit until that next thing happens. And, I got to get this car because I can't keep showing these houses in a lousy, nasty car. I was driving an AMC Spirit. They should have called it the AMC POS. Some of you get that later. And I didn't save any money for taxes for 1988. I'd never been an independent contractor. You get money, you spend money. You get money, you spend money, save money. What are you talking about, save money? Quarterly estimates? I don't know what a quarterly estimate is. So that's me. My dad and his partner, John Joyce, ran the real estate office. I just talked to John a couple days ago. His health is not great, but we're getting together next week. Him and Sue. Dear, dear friends. They helped rescue me along with my family. The day I was introduced to network marketing, I'm in the real estate office, and John comes to me and says, Eric, I think I got a way for us to make some extra money. And that sounds attractive based upon my situation. And John was a successful guy, millionaire. You know, I respected him. He saw something in me. And I said, okay. So we get in the house, or we get in the car, and we drive with my dad and John to a guy who's since passed away. His name is Charlie Wildenauer. He had a little horse ranch and another successful guy. So I'm watching a couple successful people look at this. It's kind of interesting. And they pull out a VCR. Remember the VHS cassettes? They pop in this VHS cassette into the VCR and they push play. And it's this just over-the-top limousines, and people made $1 million in 2 weeks, and, you know, glamour and mansions and the whole deal. And here's what we're doing. And these, you know, person after person walking across stage making big money. And my mental filters wouldn't let it in. It was just too much for me to be able to handle. So I just said, you know what? It's not my thing. I wish you well. I wish you the best. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go build my real estate empire. Right? And then they said, Eric, that's fine, but we're going to do it anyway. Which changed my attitude. Because the only thing worse than being broke was watching them make money, and I missed it. That would be just awful. Just terrible. So I pulled my dad under the corner, and I said, Dad, can you give me a few bucks? I know it's another one of the loans, but can you give me a few bucks because I need to do this with you. I'll be in your downline, so it'll be an extra bonus. There'll be interest being paid, you know, over time, just from the overrides. So he was nice enough to do it. So here's my startup strategy. And my dad's in the room today. Where's my dad? Where's my dad? Hey, he's right back there, standing in the middle. Wave to my dad. My mom and dad are both here. You'll get to meet them, but I have just amazing parents. But here's my startup strategy. I was a $5 an hour guy. My dad was successful with John Joyce. So my startup strategy was this. I quickly made a list of all of my dad's contacts. And I called all of them as quick as I could because I needed to get a hold of them before he did. Right? And I figured if I got a hold of them, then here's my approach. I went to Mike. Let's say Mike was one of my dad's contacts. I called Mike. Mike, have you heard? He's like, what are you talking about? Oh, my dad and John Joyce are involved in this amazing thing, and they're wildly successful, and they do all this other stuff, and we're going to be able to go do some things, and I'm involved too, and I thought I'd give you a call and give you a chance before everybody else hears about it. You want to check it out. And he'd say, your dad and John are involved? Yes. Then I'd introduce my dad to his own contacts. It was awesome. Because I was in his downline anyway, right? Dad, let me show you somebody else's guy. I did the work. I went and found your friend. So that's my startup strategy. So let me tell you what happened to me. My very first month, back in the day, that company had a $5,000 price of entry. $5,000 to join and to qualify to get a check. You had to do $5,000 worth of new business every month. So for those of you whining about your $120 auto ship, I don't want to hear it. If you didn't bring in $5,000 worth of new business, your check was zero. Now, I'm glad those days are over. But I will tell you, if you were a producer, you can make some big money. You'd make between $1,200 and $2,400 based upon your rank on each new person that came in at $5,000. So because of that, my very first month's check was $7,400 and some dollars. Very first check. February 1988. Whoa. How much of that you think I spent? All of it. Every penny. My next month's check was $12,244. My second month. Spent it all. Ran out of my dad's contacts. He got wise to me and started calling his own. Oh, I already talked to your dad. Oh, I already talked to your dad. Oh. All right. Guess I better go talk to my friends. $5,000 was a big chunk back then. So my third month, I said, well, I've got my little group here. I'll just let duplication kick in. See what happens. My third month's check was $1,098.60. And by that time, I'd walked away from real estate. I was doing this full time. I needed about $3,000 a month just to pay my minimums on my credit cards and everything. And I was wrecked. I crashed hard. So the good news is I had no place else to go. That's the best thing that ever happened to me, is I had no place else to go. I had no college degree. I was a C- student in high school. I had 18 jobs before I was 23. No joke. You think about that, that's hard to do. You got to apply, you got to get accepted, you got to get fired, you got to find another one, apply there 18 times. True story. So I had no place to go. When I got my third month's check, I quit. I'm done. Heck with you guys. Stupid company. Upline won't help me. There's no training. Leave me on my own. They say the product sells itself. Those liars. Does not either. Everybody in my downline does nothing. My upline does nothing. Company does nothing. I didn't focus on the fact I was doing nothing, but that's a different point. I was blaming everything, but here's the problem. I was successful in convincing myself it wasn't my fault, but that didn't help me. When I was in school and, I was late with my homework, I could come up with some kind of excuse to be able to slide by. Now the excuses weren't turning into cash, and I needed cash like I needed oxygen. So I just started building. I went back to work the next day with a bad attitude, but I had to do something. The only place I could make money was back to network marketing. And I will tell you something. They say some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. I think that's true. I prayed, God, just give me a job. I'll take a job. I'll be somebody's boy. I will. Pay me $50,000 a year for life and you got me for life. I'm in. Whatever. I don't want this drama. If somebody would have shown up and offered me that path, I would have said yes. But God had a better plan. He said no. You got to go work on yourself, son. All right. If I have to. So in my first 3 years, I rebuilt my organization 7 times. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just bringing pure passion. I was trying everything, the idea of the week. I'd build up my little group, and it would fall apart. My first group of my dad's friends fell apart. They had other stuff going on. Then I built up another little group of my friends. That fell apart. Then I decided I was running ads. I was doing all kinds of things in order to be able to add people. Running ads in the local newspaper. Anybody ever done that? Running ads in the newspaper, doing presentations. I built up that team, and I decided I'm going to change my approach. I'm going to be tough now. I've been too soft on people. I'm going to be tough. Drop down and give me 20. You need to recruit 3 people today. You need to do this. You need to do that. And you improve your attitude. Tough. And everybody said, look, kid, I didn't join this to be employed by you. Heck with you. I'm out of here. So I decided to take another approach. It was the love approach. We're going to love everybody. We're going to have a nurturing organization. We're just going to hang out. You're having a bad day. That's all. Everybody, they're having a bad day. Hi, my name is Eric. Hi, Eric. Everybody say. I tried the party approach. We're going to be the party team. Party, party, party. We'll try and do business in between the party. That created problems. Some people had to go the next day and say, hi, my name is Eric. Hi, Eric. Not me, but others. 7 times. And then I started to learn some skills. Back then, I had no coach, no mentor. I wasn't investing in my skills, no solid plan. I was just throwing it up against the wall. Splat. See what happens. Eventually, I'm going to get duplication. Eventually, something's going to happen. Eventually, I'm going to make it. And then I realized that I needed to do something. The day I decided to go pro, let me tell you about that day. The day I decided to go pro, I thought back to exactly the moment it happened. I don't remember the city I was in, but the convention before hurt me. I went to every convention, and I'm going to talk about events later, but I went to a convention. It was in Orlando, Florida. I just saw some pictures, old pictures of it last week. Remember photos? You actually had that you looked through? You know, stick together. Remember blurry bad photos? We just delete them now, but back then we had to print them out. But I went to this convention, and I was very ambitious, and most of everything that I did in my life was fear-based. I was filled with fear. I was afraid I was going to miss it. I was afraid I was going to miss out. I was afraid that people were going to look at me bad. I was afraid that the train was leaving the station and I wasn't going to be on it. And I went to this convention, and this company back then had a profit-sharing program. And what ended up happening, and nobody knew about it. They just brought in the top distributors in the company. And they're having a little top distributor meeting, and then bang, the doors fly open, and a marching band comes in. Boom, 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 da-la-la-la. Confetti. And they pass out checks. Big checks. For profit sharing for all the top leaders. Exciting story, right? I wasn't in the room. I hadn't earned my way into the room. I was in the hall, looking in, watching it happen. And it hurt bad. I remember going to dinner with one of my mentors, Mike Nelson, that night. And Mike he was holding court. See my check. This can happen for you too. It's awesome. Everybody else was really happy for him. I was not happy for him. I was sad for me. I felt like I missed it. I felt like I failed. I felt like I was... It was like in that movie, Field of Dreams, when Moonlight Graham says it's like coming this close to your dream and having it walk by, like a stranger. So I was depressed. I was sad. I was still working hard. But It was the night before the next convention. And I traveled to this next convention, and I was watching some news program. And on this news program, there was this obscure expert. You know, it's like they find an expert on these strange things. Like, you ever see, like, Storage Wars or Pawn Stars or any of those shows? You know when they're trying to value their weird thing they found, and they go to the Persian rug expert, or they go to the 1800s stamps expert, or, you know, find China from the 1920s expert. There was one of those experts on the show. And I was like, how does somebody become an expert in that? And what went through my mind was, well, I suppose they read everything that was possible to read. They talked to every expert that there possibly was. They looked at all the books. They surrounded that topic in every single direction until they were the expert. And if somebody was going to call somebody, they'd call them. So, you know, I thought, how does that happen? So that was not my day. The day was the next day at the convention. I was watching leader after leader walk across the stage. Rock star after rock star. I'm still in the audience. Still depressed. Still in pain from the last convention 3 months earlier. Saying, what's going through my mind, I'm thinking about the expert from last night, and I'm watching rock star after rock star that I couldn't see any discernible difference between me and them other than their check was huge. I was willing to work hard. I was willing to do the stuff. And it was like getting hit by lightning. Literally, something clicked almost audibly in my brain. And I said, wait a minute. I could become an expert in network marketing. I could. Just like that obscure expert from last night. I could learn the skills. I could start today and I could learn how to find prospects and become one of the world's best. I could learn how to invite people, become one of the world's best. I could learn how to present and become one of the world's best. I can learn how to follow up and be one of the world's best, answer any question, be one of the world's best. What have I been doing? I've been focused on timing and luck and positioning, and I haven't been focused on becoming an expert. Eric, what have you been thinking? At that moment, I could do these things. Read, learn, study, surround myself with like-minded people, invest in the skills no matter what it took. I could get a coach or coaches. I could seek out the best. And nothing could stop me. That was oh my God, nothing can stop me. Politics can't stop me. The company can't stop me. My upline can't stop me. My stupid downline can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'm in control starting now. It was awesome. And what happened? My fear went away. That moment. My fear was gone. I said, you know what? It might take me a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm like 27 at this point, 28, whatever. 27 probably. My fear went away. And I still had intensity, but it was a relaxed intensity. I still had big goals and dreams, but I knew how I was going to get there. I didn't have to count on somebody else anymore. I didn't have to be dependent anymore. I just said, I'm going to be free. I'm going to be free. 2 years later, 29 years old, I made $980,000 in commissions. 29 years old. 2 years later. Now, I wasn't an expert in everything 2 years later, but I was more of an expert. The other thing that happened to me is when my fear went away, I became more attractive. to an organization. I became more interesting to prospects. People could see that I was fearless and I was determined and I was going to succeed because the fear that I had before chased people away. I didn't even know why they were being chased away, and they didn't even know why. They just sensed my fear, my neediness, my desperation, my hope, my clinging on, and it was unattractive. And they said, yeah, I don't know why, but I'm going to wait and see. Once my fear went away, my group just started to go. With skills. I had to have the skills too. But the fear was everything.